Hello, lovely humans, and welcome back to my channel and for another rousing round of Am I the A-Hole Wedding Edition. For today's trick, we are going to be reading about why this person was voted an a-hole. Here's what he has to say. Am I the a-hole for not offering an open bar at my wedding? This is pretty akin to the dry wedding drama we had however long back that you'll find on my channel, which, by the way, you should probably subscribe. If you like AITAs, I try to do them with a little bit of frequency, but mostly what I do is I help people plan their weddings because you deserve to have a stress-free wedding day. So if you haven't done so already, jump on down there, hit subscribe because I love doing the occasional AITA. I feel like it really just spices up the content a little bit and helps people to escape from sometimes how stressful wedding planning can be, which, by the way, this whole channel is intended to be an escape to help you figure out how to do this as stress-free as possible because you deserve it. But enough about me and pandering for subscribers on my YouTube channel. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Am I the a-hole for not offering an open bar at my wedding? Reddit says you are. Reddit says you are. Okay, let's read this. I'm really curious to hear why people are saying this because I know some people have opinions. Okay. Of course, everyone has opinions. My fiance and my wedding invites have started arriving. Along with the invites is a few things that we felt we should outline before the guests arrive to the reception. We've decided not to include an open bar. I come from an alcoholic-heavy family and simply don't feel comfortable being around people who are drinking heavily. Instead, my fiance and I decided to have a drink ticket-like service instead. With that service, we've been able to customize how we want alcoholic beverages being handled at our reception, and the venue says this kind of service happens all the time there. It was their suggestion, in fact, so I didn't think it would be this big of a deal. Okay, so this is important. This context is very important, okay? If it's the venue suggesting this, especially because some venues can get weird about alcohol and how it's served and the types of alcohol, and they're well within their rights to do that. But anyways, just know that venues can have weird things. Okay. With the invitations was a card with the expectations one is to expect. Good Lord, we could use some word variety up in here. From the ceremony and the reception. I didn't want to shock people when they arrived, so I figured the cards would be a nice, classy heads up for our guests. The drink service bit of the card said essentially that alcoholic drinks were limited to 2 per of age guests. The tickets are non-transferable, and like the other beverages offered, would need to be ordered from your seat at your assigned table. Drinks were also to be enjoyed at your assigned table. What? I've been called a lot of rude things after my family, both sides, and friends are receiving their cards. My fiance has as well, but a little less so. The most common being Bridezilla, but I did have an uncle reach out to me to say I am an a-hole for trying to spoil the fun of a wedding reception. The response has been mostly negative and has been from all sides of the family and friends, and now my head is swirling as I try to figure out what to do. So, am I the a-hole because I've set my reception up like this and am not offering an open bar instead? Okay, there are a whole list of ways that we can handle this that doesn't get to this point. Okay, so first of all, remember when I said that the venue was involved in this decision making? Venues get weird. So, we've dealt with some venues that are you can only do a ticket system. You cannot have an open bar. We do not allow it. We limit the amount of drinks per person. It is not transferable. And this comes from the venue. So it's not at the behest of the couple. The couple is not spearheading this. The venue just gets weird, right? The couple's okay, we'll go with it. And then all the crowd is what are you doing? So, but the fact that this was an option at the venue, it wasn't the only option, but this was one of many. Yeah, I think we need to switch this up a little bit. I think, one, we're creating an administrative nightmare for the bar staff. How the heck are we supposed to manage this? I mean, I'm assuming we're probably treating this like a restaurant, right? Where you order per table, so we have a higher service staff because they're taking orders at the table, and then to deliver it to the table, yes, it almost has a white glove experience to it, right? That little extra touch of it, your drink will be hand delivered to your seat. Where I take issue, and it's not even just the 2-drink limit, although a lot of people aren't going to like that. I mean, maybe have a cash bar open up afterwards if you want, but OP has already stated that they really don't want people imbibing that much. Okay. At this point, it might just be a better idea to go for a dry wedding just to avoid all the drama. I mean, you're still going to get them, obviously, if they're already reacting. But at least this way you don't have to manage that and you don't have to pay for the extra service staff to help deliver those drinks as well. The part that I take issue with is that drinks are only allowed to be enjoyed at their seats. Do you have any idea how much, from a logistical standpoint, this sucks from a person who works at events? You guys have been wedding planning for almost 10 years now. This is a nightmare. Every time someone stands up, you have to say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm so sorry. You can't take your drink out of your seat." Do you know how many people are going to be like, "What? What kind of rule is that? That's so weird. I can't stand up with my drink. Like I can't go say hi to someone while holding my drink. I have to leave it here. Do you know how many times I've been told as a woman that leaving my drink unattended is a bad idea? I'm at a function with family and friends, sure. So I'm gonna feel a heck of a lot safer about it, but typically I hold the dang thing because I don't want anyone accidentally picking it up. I've worked way too many events and seen tables bust way too eagerly by the staff. So if I find out that I'm only allowed 2 drinks and I accidentally set mine down to go talk to someone at another table and I come back and it's gone, I'm gonna be ticked. And no, it has nothing to do with my need for a high alcohol consumption. It's the principle, okay? If you're only gonna allow me to have 2, then I wanna make sure I hold on to that so no one accidentally takes it early. I've seen plenty of service staff, okay, where they're real eager to bust those tables. And maybe they won't do it here, but they seem pretty trigger happy on the rules. So, I don't think the ticket system is a bad idea. I don't think the delivery to the table is a bad idea. In fact, there's an element of it that feels like kind of bougie. What I think is bad is making people stay at their seats. I would not want to work that wedding. I would hate being a server at that wedding. I would hate it. Because you would just have to constantly remind people that they need to go sit down with their alcohol. And people are going to be pissed. Which is the backlash you're getting. Okay. Let's read the comments, shall we? Why do I feel excited about this? You're the a-hole. Drinks were also to be enjoyed at your assigned table. Your ticket plan went from moderately novel to aggressively controlling the more you explained it. Are you going to have security tackle Aunt Joan if she gets out of her chair with a glass of Chard in her hand? Seriously, like what? What are you going to do? What are the ramifications of this? How are you going to really make sure that this rule is adhered to? Also, not getting up and moving around while drinking gets you drunker faster. What? It is preferred that you get up and move around so your body can process the alcohol more slowly and evenly. Have you ever tried to stand up after drinking a Long Island iced tea? No, because I don't drink Long Island iced teas. I've done that once. It made me sick to my stomach. The ticket system is reasonable. It controls costs, it keeps drinking down a bit. All the other is over the top. Someone taking everyone's tickets is a downside, but the controlling crazy of making the bartenders cross-reference seats to keep it straight is controlling it over the top. No, hold on. The venue suggested this. So this is the plan that they're like, this is genius, watch this. Now I guarantee you the bartenders hate it, right? They're like, this is the least enjoyable type of event for us to work. They hate it, right? But the venue gave this as an option. They're like, here you go. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. And now this poor couple's just getting like smacked left and right by all of their family members being like, what are you doing? The venue suggested it. And now they're just like, oh, shoot, I have to do damage control because I didn't think it was that bad of an idea. I'm just explaining what the venue told me to do. This is why you need to subscribe to this channel. This is why you need to come join me in the master plan. Become my online client because then I can talk to you in our live calls and I can explain to you why this is a bad idea. Because some venues are stupid. Sorry. On top of that, it is useless. A true alcoholic, knowing this is the situation, might well bring a flask and have 2 bottles out in the car. The next step is a strip search. Everyone loosen up. You cannot make people behave. Okay. I think everyone needs to just take a deep breath and remember the venue suggested this, okay? Your title is misleading. It's totally okay to not have an open bar at a wedding. Even limiting consumption is kind of okay, but forcing people to drink it sitting at their assigned tables, that's over-controlling. Seems like you want your guests to jump through hoops for you for no good reason than because you can, because you are the bride. You're the a-hole. Just have a dry wedding if you're so uncomfortable around alcohol or if your family is that untrustworthy around it. Again, the venue suggested it. This poor bride has never done this before. She's never done this before, and she's taking the advice of a venue that she's paying probably thousands of dollars to have her event at, right? She's taking their advice and going, hey, if this is something you guys do and this is a good option, like, it sounds nice to have your drinks delivered, and yeah, we would love to have them limited. I don't think this poor thing's not the a-hole. She didn't design this. This was suggested to her out of a lineup of items, out of a lineup of options. I think everyone's being really unfair to her right now. This poor person is just like dying inside, just being like, I can't believe everyone's so mad. I thought this was genius. I thought it would solve all the problems. And now, I guess when you think about it, telling people they can't drink while walking around is like, oh, I guess that's kind of rude. That's not what I meant to do. I just was going with the venue suggestion and now I look like an a-hole. So she goes to the internet and writes it all down and everyone's like, yeah, you're the a-hole. No, false. The venue is the a-hole for even having this as an option. I guarantee you the servers hate it. I guarantee you the bartenders hate it. I guarantee you all the vendors working that event are like, oh my gosh, this is so obnoxious. People will leave early, not because they can't have more than 2 drinks, but because it feels like you're treating them like children or forcing them to stay at their seats. I am getting way more passionate about this than I thought I would. Okay, next comment. Yeah, this is taking it overboard. You cannot have alcohol at wedding. If you want, people will leave early, so be prepared. Perchance, we've had plenty of dry weddings go late into the evening. But thinking you get to decide where they can have their drinks, bizarre and controlling. Again, they didn't invent this idea. The venue suggested it. You can't reasonably limit people to their table like this. I'm going to go with you're the a-hole because this ass is ridiculous. Your wedding sounds like an unenjoyable event to attend with so many restrictions for your guests being treated like school children. Drinks were also to be enjoyed at your assigned table. Question mark? Times 3? This isn't classy. This is weird and condescending. Like you're worried a 4-year-old will spill his juice. You're the a-hole for that, even though, in general, a drink ticket plan seems reasonable. Again, the venue suggested it. Ooh. Hi. I'm an alcoholic. Okay. Thank you for sharing your story. Family riddled with alcoholism as well. Been to several different weddings with them from an open bar to dry. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter if it's dry. They will either show up already plastered or sneak in drinks and bottles themselves. The disease is devious and it doesn't give an S about you or your wedding or anyone else. It's just always looking for an excuse to drink, regardless of the damage it does to those around them. So no matter what you do, they will find a way to drink more than they should, period. We've seen people try to sneak alcohol into events, and there's a huge liability around that. We've seen people go out into the parking lot to imbibe. There's a huge liability around that as well. But if you treat an alcoholic like a child for their drinking, they will only act more childish and tantrumatic. Oh, I didn't realize that was a word. And drink more. And with your drinks only at seated tables, it will and already has absolutely infantilized them and make them angry. And they will disregard what respect they had for you and wholeheartedly drink and disrupt your wedding in return. I don't think that's fair. I think there's plenty of functioning alcoholics that would not cause up a stir. This might be your case and your story with your family, but I don't necessarily think all alcoholics behave like this. Also, your logic for seated only preventing drink swapping is flawed because you can just as easily swap a drink at a table than any other spot in your wedding, unless you're having someone stand at each table to watch them. This is a really good point. There's ways around this. This doesn't make any sense. All this to say, I'm sorry that you have to deal with and manage all these family members' disease and know and worry that their alcoholism is going to disrupt and detract from your very special day. I don't think you're trying to be an a-hole. You're just scared of what can and might happen and trying to control it. Sadly, you can't. But I hoped I helped give at least a different perspective for you to understand that seated only is not the solution. It will be the catalyst to a worse explosion and more rampant drinking. I hope you have a wonderful wedding and hope it goes well. Not the a-hole, but don't do the seated only and it will lead to the exact thing you're trying to prevent. Look, you do what you want, but I'm not getting all dressed up, giving up a day of my life, possibly traveling long distance, and getting someone a nice gift in order to be treated like a child. Yeah, there is an element of this. Like, honey, don't get up from the table with your drink. You might spill, or pass it off to someone else who's going to get schnockered off of a third drink. Honestly, if you think about it this way, if you're an alcoholic, is 3 drinks going to do it? 4 drinks? Like, don't they have like a much higher tolerance? I don't know many lightweight alcoholics. Do you? I also don't think I know that many alcoholics, at least not presenting as. So there's an element of this that's like, well, yeah, but like that's not gonna do, and yeah, whatever. Okay. I mean, the chances of my drinking even 2 drinks at an event like this are just about nil, but being ordered about and being told that I can only enjoy my drink at my assigned table, I'm disallowed from enjoying my drink with my friend Marcy at table 4 for some reason. Get out of here. You're the a-hole. I'm not a big drinker, but would make it my mission to have 3 drinks out of spite. Okay. It's a pretty draconian system which essentially accuses all guests of being bad drunks, liars, and untrustworthy. You're supposed to welcome your guests, not make them think you're the a-hole. If you're worried about alcohol, just go alcohol-free. What is the reason behind not being able to move with their drinks? Someone replied, my assumption is that this is to track intake and make sure someone doesn't share or sneak a third drink. The administrative nightmare that would come from a situation like this, you guys, is like, I could not imagine. I would not want to work in an event like this. I would not want to be a staff member of an event like this. I would not want to be the wedding planner at an event. You know how many people would come up to me and be like, this is blah, 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 blah. You've definitely misunderstood the venue saying they offer that service all the time. The tickets are complimentary, then the people are free to purchase their own drinks from there. This is strangely controlling and condescending. Here's the deal. How would this person have invented this? They clearly said the venue suggested this. I mean, I've had enough experiences with venues that if a couple said to a venue, okay, here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. I like your ticket system. That's great. We're going to roll with that. Now we're going to make sure people only have them at their seats. A venue's going to go, we're not staffed for that. You're taking this too far. We're not doing that. Or you must have misunderstood what we're saying. Okay? Because there is this would be a very bizarre jump for a couple to make from you're only limited to 2 drink tickets, and this person saying that there's going to be a purchase, like a cash bar afterwards. That's clearly not an option, right? I don't think the OP invented all this. The venue literally said, here's a plan. Like, we got to give them a lot more grace on this, guys. They've never done this before, okay? And the venue's saying, here's a good plan. And the couple goes, great, we'll take you up on it. So I don't think that, although it sounds like you've had experience with a ticket system and a cash bar afterwards, which is the most common if you're using tickets, is to do that and then have a cash bar afterwards. The invention of the drink police mandating where people have their beverages would be a really big leap for a couple to make. Really big leap. This person says, thank you so much for this comment. I'm not a wedding maven, but it seemed really weird to me that venue would be saying, oh yes, we'll police to make sure that Aunt Susie, who only had one glass of wine, doesn't give her leftover ticket to Uncle Harry, who, gasp, might want 3 beers during a 5-hour reception. What you're saying, that the venue's like, yeah, pay for everyone to have 2 drinks. We'll give them tickets. If they want something else, they pay in cash. Makes much, much more sense. But that is not what the venue told them. Perfect. Here we go. The last 4 weddings I went to had a 2-drink policy. I know because the brides told me details. 200 guests, 400 drinks. The bride chose 3 alcohols. The price is set and only that many bottles are opened. No cash allowed, nothing to purchase. 400 drinks are poured and then the bar closes. I'm telling you, venues are freaking weird about some of this stuff. I'm so sorry. I feel so like vindicated right now. Someone said, wow, this wouldn't fly at all at a UK wedding. Well, all you'd have is people either sneaking to the pub or sneaking drinks in. Another person said, wow, obviously I have a lot to learn about how liquor is doled out at weddings. Thanks. The venues were by the lake and are very popular here. They're always a drive from town through 1-lane twisty roads. I wonder if they fear over-serving someone and letting them drive home. My wedding, we had a free flow of wine and beer passed out by servers, no liquor. Another wedding was beer and wine served at dinner. After that, cash bar. I'm telling you guys, it's the venue. You're getting mad at the wrong person. Venues get weird. There are venues that are like, you can't have champagne. I don't know why. I don't know if they're concerned that like the corks that from the experienced bartenders are going to fly out and hit somebody in the face. I have no idea. There are venues that don't allow kegs. Probably, I don't even know. There are venues that don't allow glass. There are venues that don't allow any hard alcohol. That one's pretty common. There are venues that don't allow any sort of, most venues don't allow any sort of outside alcohol because of liability reasons. It's a nightmare. So like that one I totally understand. There are venues that allow clear hard liquors only because the devil's in the whiskey, but not in the vodka. So they're just, it's the venue. It's the venue. It's the venue. Ooh, this person says not the a-hole. Okay, thank you. Maybe you see reason like I do. My parents didn't have any alcohol at their wedding due to family members on both sides being alcoholics. Plus, neither of them drink. Besides dad having a beer maybe twice a year. My uncle, who is 30 years sober now, could get outright belligerent. Boy, did people complain and insulted them. My paternal grandmother came around 10 years later and apologized for her part in it. And they told them they were wise to do so. You do what you two believe is best for your wedding. They just want free drinks and are mad they aren't getting an unlimited supply. Alcohol shouldn't be a thing, but yeah, I'm surprised people are so angry in the comments. Should just have no drinks at the wedding if it's that much of a problem. Here's the solution. This person's cracked the code. Keep the ticket system, but to get a ticket, you have to solve a puzzle. People will start working together to try to earn booze. People will talk about your wedding for years. Love that idea. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it here because none of this is gonna change my mind. I'm actually just like scanning the comments to see if anyone agrees with me because this is bizarre. Apparently none of you guys are wedding professionals. Which is fine. You're not supposed to be. It's okay. Reddit's a scary, aggressive place sometimes anyways. You guys, this is why it helps to have a professional to talk to about some of these things because you've never done this before. This poor couple is just getting obliterated by their family members or friends because they're doing what the venue told them to do. And no, I don't like the venue told them to do. I think it's stupid. They should definitely do away with the drink system of having only at their seats. I cannot imagine enforcing that. That'd be a nightmare. As a planner, I would basically be like, I cannot enforce that. There's nothing I can do. So if I was working that wedding, I'd be like, that's on the venue. If they're going to have this policy, then they're going to have the staff to deal with that. Or if I came across a guest who was really frustrated by that policy, I would say, you know what? I'm inclined to agree with you, but unfortunately, as it stands, the venue has chosen this as the option for this event, or the couple has chosen this, or the venue offered this option, and the couple thought that this was normal. I wouldn't want to like totally pants my clients emotionally in front of their family members and friends, but also I'd be like, I'm not touching that, you know? So let me know your thoughts down below because everyone thinks this OP is an a-hole, and I'm like, I don't think so. I get it. I get where you're coming from. You were young and innocent, and well, you might be young. I don't know. My guess is you're young based on how all this is unfolding. You just don't know any better, and you clearly don't have a wedding planner telling you, you you probably should reconsider that. And now you get the backlash of both your family and friends and the internet. So you are safe here with me. If you are going through any issues like this, or you really don't know what's considered the norm when it comes to wedding planning, please come join me in the master plan. It's where I take on online clients and I teach you how to plan your weddings as stress-free as possible, because this stuff happens and because some venues are stupid. And then you look like the a-hole. So if you want to make sure you don't look like the a-hole for your wedding, come join me in the master plan. I will leave it linked down in the description box down below. If you haven't done so already, jump down there, hit that like button, and subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride and to not look like an a-hole. And be sure to tell me your thoughts on this, because I feel like I'm a fish out of water with my comments and thoughts here if I'm just looking at the comments over here. So if you agree with me or disagree, I invite a loving and enjoyable discourse in the comment section. And until next time, bye guys!